Hey guys, welcome back. We're back at it again with another plush video, and we're continuing to review the rest of the Super Plush's Bowser line, this time focusing on Dry Bowser. As always, we'll be reviewing the plush's materials as well as how it is accurate to the official source material. But this time, I brought a special guest, a bonus guest, if you will. That's right. I brought this Sanei Dry Bowser from the All-Star line, and we'll be reviewing him as a sort of reference, as well as compare and contrast which one is the superior one. However, will this one be still worth buying? Let's find out. Well, to start off with, the materials for this plush are actually really good. From the body to the eyes to the hair to the shell, they're all made with polyester fabric. And as for things like the teeth, the spikes, the horn, they're all made by cotton fabric, which all feel pretty good for you plush tubers out there to play. As for the look to see if it's actually Dry Bowser, well, they got it close. The guy certainly got the black eyes, and you can tell that they try to make it make it look like bones as possible. Unfortunately, this is where, we started to fumble a bit. When looking at Sanei's release, it's a very, very jarring difference. Well, to start off with, these look like real bones because it uses white fabric, which is more accurate to how bones are portrayed in the Mario series. And if not that, there's some other details that bother me. Like, for this one, this doesn't really, to start off with the hair, it doesn't even look like Bowser's hair. It's straight off Bowser Jr.'s hair that they reused for their other Bowser Jr. And the fabric, it's good fabric, don't get me wrong, but they don't really look like bones. Whereas with Sanei's release, you can tell that they're bones, not just that they're white, but with these little silver linings, literally, you could tell that these are like bones that are being held together, like a skeleton model. And not just that, but the hair is more accurate coming to the official release of this new Super Mario Bros. Series, with being in a red and spiky, which, like I said, they just literally use Bowser Jr.'s plush hair on this one. And if it's not that, then there's like the difference between these shells. In Sanei's release, they try to make it as much accurate to the character design as possible, with having it like a gray shell with red outlines, which is how it's supposed to be, which they did a really good job. However, with here, they really boned themselves. Well, to start off with, it's not even a gray shell. It's really more of a red shell, which Dry Bowser never had in the series. And if it's not that, it's the little gray fabric circling around the spikes. They just look really jarring, if anything. And finally, it's more so the fact that, like I said, the bones, you can really tell that Sanei really want to make sure that you can make them look like they're much bony as possible, if that makes any sense. Not just the silver lining, but the white fabric. But here, if you look really closely, it's literally just the same material they use for all the other bodies in the Bowser plushes. But they really hadn't made no attempt to make it look like a skeleton. Rather, they just make it coated in gray fabric. Which just doesn't really, bode well with me, especially with all the other hardcore Mario fans in head. So to conclude, would I recommend buying this over the official release? No. However, would I still recommend buying it in its own right? Actually, yes. Yeah, sure. It may miss the mark, and they totally boned themselves in a lot of areas. But honestly, I still recommend getting just because it's unique in its own right, with the red shell kind of catching my attention. And hey, this is probably the closest we'll get to having like a plush version of Mega Fury Bowser for you plush chewers out there making those Bowser Fury reenactments. So yeah, while it isn't, as good as Sanei's or accurate to dry Bowser's for that matter, I still say you should get it. Is it really worth purchasing, buying just for the unique design on its own? Like I said, sure, it may not be high quality in terms of, being accurate, unlike Sanei's, but still, it's a really cool plush. But if you are gonna get a dry Bowser, please get the Sanei one. But thanks for watching my video. We'll tune in next time to review the next Bowser, Wedding Bowser plush.